It's the United States of Europe talking about the first presidential debate between Trump and Clinton, so non-European in style it could only happen in the United States. The Trump-Clinton debates, or as my friend Dan Oster puts it, the presidential version of Lisa Simpson debating Nelson Muntz. Expectations were relatively high for Clinton and so low for Trump. All he really had to do was show up and speak in complete sentences. Unfortunately, he wasn't always able to do that. Donald Trump, a man who can run a whole presidential campaign in 140 characters on Twitter, but if you ask him a question, he needs 140 words before he makes any sense. You know, let me respond to that because, excuse me, here's the thing. I know because America, we need a president in this country. I'm not Muslim, that's all I'm saying. Now, the topic of Europe didn't come up very much in the first debate, so this week I'll go through the main moments and put them in a European perspective. For example, there was that moment when Donald Trump almost referred to himself using the word braggadocio.
I am very underleveraged. I have a great company. I have a tremendous income. And the reason I say that is not in a braggadocious way.
That remark gets 2 Berlusconis and 1 Mussolini. And Trump prepared for the debate by reminding the moderator that it's not his job to fact check, indicating Trump's main strategy of lying faster than anyone could fact check him. And indeed, Trump lied 3 times in his opening statement.
So Ford is leaving.
No, Ford is not moving to Mexico. Obama didn't grow the deficit, he shrank it, and Hillary does have a plan. That much lying gets 2 Tony Blairs, a Boris Johnson, and anyone who says that Brexit will actually happen. Meanwhile, Hillary's debate prep consisted of Clinton trying to articulate policy proposals while a monkey was throwing its own shit at her. Here you can see Trump yelling and interrupting 25 times in the first 26 minutes.
So there
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Murders are up.
Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
Wrong.
proved over and over again.
Wrong.
I'd blow them out of the water and start another war. That would not
start a
good
war.
judgment.
For doing everything to get attention except banging his shoe on the desk, Trump gets 5 Khrushchevs. Hillary did her best to stick to the sound bites, but sometimes she was so scripted, you could sense the words sticking in her throat.
I call it trumped up, trickle down.
Not the most charismatic politician? I give that 3 Merkels. And after all the accusations about Hillary's health, it was Trump who showed up, apparently with the sniffles.
Perhaps we'll be talking about that later.
I give that a Thatcher, just because it was the 80s and all the cocaine. And Trump admits that he is not spending campaign funds on TV ads.
And, I also noticed the very nasty commercials that you do on me in so many different ways, which I don't do on you. Maybe I'm trying to save the money.
For that, we give you 2 duchies and a Scotland. And Trump's example of why he's not racist was that his golf course in Florida doesn't exclude minorities.
I opened a club and really got great credit for it. No discrimination against African Americans, against Muslims, against anybody.
That kind of logic gets 3 Tories. Take your pick. 1 Cameron, 1 Theresa May, and definitely a Boris Johnson. But there was one point where Europe did come up: NATO. Trump cast doubt on NATO's ability to pay its bills.
Number 1, the 28 countries of NATO, many of them aren't paying their fair share.
Do you know who else casts doubt about NATO? Vladimir Putin. Trump said he wouldn't necessarily defend other NATO countries if attacked.
And number 2, I said, and very strongly, NATO could be obsolete.
Who would be doing the attacking? Probably Putin. And Trump said he wasn't sure the Russians did the hacking of the Democratic National Committee.
I mean, it could be Russia, but it could also be China. It could also be lots of other people. It also could be somebody sitting on their bed that weighs 400 pounds, okay?
But they did. That gets a total of 10 Putins. In closing, political insiders say Hillary didn't lose the debate and Trump didn't win. But then for many American voters, let's face it, the only way they'll ever take Hillary seriously is if she had a penis. Luckily, if she needs it, in the next debate, she can pull out Bill's penis, which she has on a chain around her neck. For United States of Europe, I'm Greg Shapiro, proud member of the lamestream media.
Newsroom, it's a newsroom. Listen to the sound of the newsroom. Anything can happen in a newsroom. News, 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 news.